Hello everyone, this is Neha Sharma once again with you, and today in this video we will learn how to change direct speech into indirect speech when the reported speech is given in exclamatory sentences. So students, before starting this change, let me talk something about this exclamatory sentence. Why we use these exclamatory sentences and what are these? So these are the sentences which we use generally to show the sudden feelings of anger, happiness. If we want to praise someone, then also we use this, right? If we want to show some feeling of sorrow, that time also we use these exclamatory sentences. Let us understand this with the help of examples. Now I am going to speak some of the sentences here, and all those sentences will be exclamatory sentences. So please listen carefully. Suppose I am saying, wow, what a beautiful rose it is. So what is this? We have suddenly saw one rose which was very beautiful, and it was sudden expression of us, right? It was instant expression, we can say, to see that beautiful rose, and we say just wow, what a beautiful rose it is, right? If something bad happened, we said alas, this is very bad, right? Alas, my friend got hurt. Clear? So this is what? Alas. This is what? Feeling of sorrow. Bravo, we have won the match. So this is what? This is praise, or okay, applause we are doing here. So that is what? This type of sentences are known as exclamatory sentences, right? Now you have read this in your junior sections, junior classes, that whenever we write down these exclamatory sentences, we use this sign, which is sign of exclamation, right? So the words like wow, hurrah, alas, after that we use this sign of exclamations, and in the sentences automatically when we use the exclamatory sentences we will use this symbol as punctuation mark. Clear? So the sign of exclamation will be used in exclamatory sentences, and now you came to know that what are exclamatory sentences, right? So what are exclamatory sentences? The sentences which are used to show the sudden feelings. Clear? Right? It may be of happiness, it may be of anger, it may be of surprise, it may when we are praising someone. So this is called exclamatory, right? And the sentences where we use, that's called exclamatory sentences. Okay. Now as we did the rules, right? So here also we have to do the rules, that how we have to change. So let's talk about the first thing, the first one. As you know, in the direct speech we have reporting clause, reporting verb and reporting speech. Clear? So once again I am saying what is reporting clause, which is outside the inverted commas and inverted, or you can say the quotation marks. That part of the sentence is known as reported clause, and in that reported clause itself we get reported speech also. Clear? That is generally given with said to or said. So that is called reported verb, sorry. And what is reported speech? Reported speech is the part of the sentence, of the part of that particular direct speech which is spoken by the speaker, the exact words of the speakers. When we write down by using inverted commas or the quotation mark, that is known as what? Reported speech. Clear? Now let's see for what is the first rule here in the exclamatory sentences. So we came to know that exclamatory sentences are those sentences that express a state of sorrow, joy and wonder, right? Here the first rule says when we have said to or said in as the reporting verb. So this is what? Reporting verb, right? Said to and said. Clear? So that changes with, this arrow shows the change here. So this said to or said changed with exclaimed with joy if the sentence is expressing something which is a thing of happiness, delight, joy, right? If the thing is if the sentence is showing some sorrow, right? So then we have to write down exclaimed with sorrow. If it is of a case of happiness, then we have to do exclaimed with joy, exclaimed with delight, something like that, right? But when it is a feeling of sorrow, so exclaimed with sorrow we have to done. When it is a wonder, it's a surprise for someone, so you can do exclaimed with wonder. Sometimes it is applause also when we praise something, so that is the case of applause. So directly you can write down applauded here also, like you can remove here this exclaimed with, you can directly do applauded, like he applauded, okay, some praise if it is going on, so you can do directly applauded and exclaimed directly, clear? Otherwise you can use exclaimed with joy, exclaimed with wonder, like this. Clear? So this is what we have to change said to and said. Second very important thing here is the inverted commas or the quotation marks. Here you have to change that with that. What is the connector word here instead of commas? That is that. Okay, so this is the second important thing which you have to see. Now this note of exclamation, which is exclamatory sign, this changes into full stop. As you have noted, when we did interrogative sentences, when we changed that into indirect speech, we did not apply question mark there also. It is full stop everywhere, right? So here also it will be changed into full stop. Clear? Now these were the some important rules. So what we have learned here, that how which are the rules we have to follow here, that is what the said to, this reporting verb said to, said, that changes into exclaimed with joy, exclaimed with delight, exclaimed with the, you can say sorrow, right? Or directly you can write down applauded or exclaimed, okay? And second thing is what, when you have to remove the comma as the connector word, you have to apply what, that here. Clear? And the third thing is the sign of note of exclamation, that is called sign of exclamation, that changes into full stop in the indirect speech. I hope you have done. Now let's understand what are the rules, what the rules we have done and how to follow them in the sentences, how to apply them in the sentences of the direct speech that we have to do. So let's read first sentence here. The student said, "Alas, I have lost the match." So here what is this? Alas is there, that means it is a feeling of sorrow because he has lost the match, right? So he is sad, so that's why suddenly it came out of his mouth. This is the the feeling from his sudden feeling. So that is what he'll say, "Alas, I have lost the match," right? So this we have to check the nature of the sentence. It is showing the sorrow. Clear? Moreover, this is having exclamatory sign, so that is what, it is exclamatory sentence. Third thing we have to check in the reported clause, that what is the reporting verb. So that is what, said only. So we have learned in the first rule that said or said to we have to change with exclaimed with. Now you have to check the mood of the sentence. It is showing what? It is showing sorrow, right? So we will do he exclaimed or the student exclaimed with sorrow. And rest there will be change as it is, tenses change as we did in the sentences earlier. Clear? Now the student is the speaker here, so that will remain the student. Now the student said, you have to change with exclaimed, so that is exclaimed. With what? That's a feeling of what? That's a feeling of sorrow. So what you have to do? Sorrow. After that, commas you have to remove with, this commas you have to remove with that. You have to change that, means replace with. So that, clear? Now this that is I we used to change. What is the basic rule of changing I? That is he or she. Clear? So here the student may be he, it may be she. So it is your choice here what you want to take. Clear? So I will change with the student and it may be he or she. You will not write down the student here once again. So the student exclaimed with sorrow that, let's take he. Now have changes into what? Have changes into had. right, and then lost the match, that will be same. So this is the change where with the basic rules we did it. Okay, so the student exclaimed with sorrow that he had lost the match. That is the change, and it is quite easy. Please let's understand once again what was the rule here in the exclamatory sentence. Very first thing, you have to check the nature of the reported speech, the mood of the reported speech, whether it is showing happiness, joy, delight, surprise, what it is. So here with this word alas is helping us to show that this is the sorrow, right? He is showing the sorrow. So that's why we have done this said into exclaimed with sorrow, exclaimed with sorrow. Clear? And then at the place of commas we just replaced them with that, and then as it is we used to do the changes with the basic tenses and the rules, basic rules, we did that here too. Clear? Next sentence, he said, hurrah, I have passed the examination. So he is very happy. So what does this hurrah means? This word is telling us the happiness. Okay, I have passed the examination, he said. So what is the mood of he? Means the boy or the man, whatsoever he is. So he said hurrah. Hurrah represent what? Happiness, right? So what you will do here? Exclaimed with happiness. So the answer will be he exclaimed. He exclaimed with joy, or you may see delight also, you may write down delight also, joy, then commas you have to remove with that, I you have to change with he or she, and here speaker is what? He. So he, have changes into what? Have changes into had, passed the examination. So see, it is too easy, right? Only the rules you have to keep in your mind, and for that you have to keep on revising the rules. You have to keep on practicing in your practice books. That's it. It is not too difficult actually. So the next one is, the soldiers said, bravo, we have won. So here bravo shows what? Bravo shows applauded, right, or praise. So where there is praise we used to do applauded, right? So here you can say the soldiers said to, exclaimed with joy, you can say here, but because this is praise, no, so we will do here applauded. So soldiers said, the soldiers applauded, A-P-P-L-A-U-D-E-D, applauded that. Now this we have to change with what? They, right? Because soldiers, that's a plural. They had won. That's it. They had won. Instead of writing applauded here, you can write down here, the soldier exclaimed with joy, because they were happy, and because they are praising. Also you can write down the soldiers exclaimed with joy, or this one is much better, which is that applauded, because they are praising that they have won the match, or won whatever, they have won the war, something like that. So this is the basic rule here. Next one we have to check in the next fourth sentence. The child said, how beautiful the flower is. Now here in this sentence you will notice the words like alas, hurrah, bravos, these words are not given. So the sentence is how beautiful, because we have started that this type of sentence is how beautiful the rose is, how tall the boy is, what a beautiful dress it is. So these type of sentences are also used to express the exclamatory sentences. Clear? Now here two things I will tell you which are very important. and please listen to that carefully. Here the sentence is starting with how and ending with what? Exclamatory, and the sentence is automatically expressing the feeling. Clear? So how beautiful the flower is. Here I want to tell you one thing, the sentence is exclamatory, that you know. Clear? But if the sentence is starting with how here, if the sentence is starting with how or what, like here it is what, and in first sentence it is how. So it may be anything, it may be how, it may be what, right? And I have told you in your junior sections that where we have to change the sentence, simple sentence, with the help of how, and where with what. So if you want to know that, please see the videos of sentences and kinds of sentences, that is in the video section. So how beautiful the flower is, right? Now if I'm telling you here the very important thing, that if, how and what, this how and what, these words we have to change with very and great. Okay, I'm talking about these two words, what and how. Clear? Now there is a confusion that where to use very and where to use great. So the rule is this, for that, I think this is not given in your books too, right? So this is the additional knowledge which I am giving you, that very and great, you have to take one word, right? But you have to keep in mind, if how and what, it may be anything in the sentence, right? But if that how and what, after that, if there is noun, after that there is a noun, suppose how and then boy it is given, right? Or what, boy it is given, or noun, right? How or what, if they are following with a noun. So in that case you have to write down, you have to use this great. Clear? If noun is there, you have to apply this very in the indirect speech if these words how or what, they are after that there is adjective. Adjective. And what is this? Adjective is what? Quality. So this is very important thing, and just learn this as a trick, that whenever the sentences, exclamatory sentences, are having how and what, right? So we have to use these words very and great. Clear? Because here we will say, because here we cannot say that exclaimed with joy or what and what, right? So directly we will say exclaimed that. The child exclaimed that. Okay? Because here that alas, sorrow, bravo, this is not there. So we will not write down with happiness or something. So that is a feeling of wonder or surprise, that's it, right? So directly if you are using this, the child exclaimed that, right? If I are using the child exclaimed with surprise, then you can leave this option. But if you are directly doing the child exclaimed that, in that case you have to add these two words, very and great. So what I have told you, great you have to use if how and what, these words are following what? Noun. If there is adjective after these both words, right? So then in that case you have to apply very. This is very, very important rule. So I hope you have got it. Clear? Once again I am telling you, it is not necessary that all the exclamatory sentences are having these interjections like alas, hurrah, bravo, something like that. It may be directly expressed like this: how beautiful this rose is, how beautiful she is, how tall that building is, what a beautiful music it was, right? So it may be expressed like that without the interjection words. Clear? So in that case you have two options of changing it into indirect speech. One way is that at the place of said, you can do exclaimed with surprise, exclaimed with wonder. But if you are not using that exclaimed with wonder or exclaimed with surprise, in that case you have to use exclaimed that directly. Okay, the child exclaimed that. How? Now beautiful is given, which is adjective, right? So that how you have to remove from here. So what you will do, the child exclaimed that the flower is changes into what? Was very beautiful. This how and what you have to remove from here. Okay. Next, if you will see this one, the master said, what a lazy fellow you are. So here the master exclaimed that. Now here who is the receiver? If receiver is not given, so we suppose that is I. It is the master said to me. Clear? So at the basis of that we will change. The master exclaimed that I was. Lazy is what? Adjective. So we have to do very. I was very lazy fellow. I was very lazy fellow. Clear? Let's do this with the help of, I will tell you the answer here. Okay. Now, let's see. The child said. The child is the speaker. Clear? How beautiful the flower is. So here the child, I have given you two choices, exclaimed with wonder, exclaimed with surprise also you can write down here. The child exclaimed with wonder. Let's take that one first. With surprise or wonder. That. Now this how and what you have to remove, okay? We are talking about the flower. The flower is changes into was, and what is the quality? Beautiful. Okay, so here we are not using that word very or great because we have shown this feeling with surprise here. So the child exclaimed with surprise that the flower was beautiful. That's it. But if we want to change that into the second way, what we will do here, let's see that also. Let me write. The child exclaimed that the flower was, because this is having adjective, no? So when there is adjective, we have to do very, right? The flower was very beautiful. Okay, so these are the two ways to write down the answer. I hope you got it. But if after this how or after this what there will be a noun, then if you are using the second rule to change, you will use great instead of very, right? So it is your choice what you want to do here. The master said, what a lazy fellow you are. What a lazy fellow you are. Now lazy is what once again? That is adjective. Clear? So the master exclaimed. The master exclaimed. I am using the second way. The master exclaimed that, who is the receiver here? I. So this you will be changed with I, right? The master I have forgot. The master exclaimed that I, R changes into was very lazy fellow. Very lazy fellow. Clear? And then another way is, the master exclaimed with wonder that I was lazy fellow. That's it. Then we will not use this word very and great. Now, last one is the old man said to him. What is it? The old man said to him, how intelligent you are. How intelligent. So here also luckily we got intelligent, that is what? Noun, right? So the old man exclaimed that, what is there? How we have to remove that? To him he is speaking. So who is the receiver here? Him. So let me write, the old man exclaimed that. Now this you will be changed with what? This him. So him, what is that? He. So that he, R is there, means in present, we have to change that into past. He was, intelligent is what? Adjective. So what we have to apply? Very. He was very intelligent. Right? And another option is, the old man exclaimed with wonder that he was intelligent. That's it. Okay. So this was how we have to solve the sentences when we get reported speech into exclamatory sentences. Thank you very much for today, and keep on practicing, keep on revising the rules if you want to increase the standard of your English. Thank you very much. Keep studying.